Commander Jeho stood at the command center window, his face hard as stone. In the sky above Seoul, dark ships filled the blue. They were not like human ships. They were bigger, sharper, and moved like they were alive. "Sir, all units report heavy losses," said the young officer beside him. "We can't hold them back anymore." Jeho nodded but said nothing. What could he say? It had been 3 days since the aliens called Varen had arrived. 3 days of watching Earth's best weapons fail. 3 days of seeing brave soldiers die. His hand went to his pocket, touching the small photo of his wife, Soo-min, and their daughter Hae-yeon. Soo-min was across the city at her lab. She had called him last night, excited about something she had found, something about the Varen. "They fear something," she had whispered into the phone. "I found it in their genetic code. They call them beasts. I need more time, Jeho. What I'm seeing could change everything." That was 12 hours ago. Now the building where her lab stood was smoking. Jeho had tried calling her 20 times. No answer. A loud boom shook the room. Ceiling lights fell. Dust filled the air. "They've broken through the north wall," someone shouted. Jeho snapped back to the present. "Order all units to fall back to Defense Line 3. Get the civilians out through the tunnels." He grabbed his rifle and ran down to the garage. He had to get to Soo-min's lab. He had to know. The streets of Seoul were chaos. Broken buildings, burning cars, and bodies. So many bodies. Jeho drove his jeep as fast as he could, dodging holes in the road and jumping over debris. When he reached the science center, his heart sank. Half the building was gone. Just gone. Like a giant hand had ripped it away. Jeho ran inside, gun ready. The halls were dark and full of smoke. He knew the way to Soo-min's lab by heart. 3rd floor, East Wing, room 312. What he found made him drop to his knees. The lab was destroyed. Equipment broken. Papers burned. And there, under a fallen shelf, was Soo-min. Her white lab coat was stained red. Her eyes were open but saw nothing. "No," Jeho whispered, then louder. "No." He went to her, held her cold hand. She was gone, but clutched in her other hand was a small hard drive. With shaking fingers, Jeho took it and put it in his pocket. A sound made him turn. In the doorway stood a Varen warrior. It was tall, at least 8 feet, with armor that seemed to grow from its skin. Its 4 eyes locked on Jeho. The alien was bred for war. Every part of it was built to kill. Jeho raised his gun, but knew it would do little. The Varen stepped forward, and then stopped. It tilted its head, looking at something behind Jeho. Jeho didn't turn. He would die facing his enemy. But then the wall behind him exploded inward. Through the new hole came Dr. Tawan, another scientist from the lab. He was covered in dust and blood. "Jeho, this way. Quick." The Varen roared and charged, but Tawan threw something at it. The device sparked and shot out an electric field. The alien froze, its muscles locked up. "It won't hold long," Tawan said. "We need to go now." "Soo-min," Jeho said, not moving. "She saved us all," Tawan said softly. "She locked the lab doors when they came. She gave her life to protect the data, to protect your daughter." Jeho's head snapped up. "Hae-yeon, she's here. In the basement shelter with the others. She's waiting for you. Soo-min would want you to go to her." With one last look at his wife, Jeho followed Tawan through the hole in the wall. They ran down emergency stairs to the basement, where a small group of scientists and staff huddled. Among them, Jeho saw his daughter. "Dad," Hae-yeon cried, running to him. He held her tight, feeling her tears on his shirt. "We have transport waiting," Tawan said. "The old mining tunnels lead out of the city. There's a place in the mountains where we might be safe." "Nowhere is safe anymore," Jeho said, but he followed anyway. The hard drive in his pocket felt heavy. Whatever Soo-min had found, whatever these beasts were, Jai-Ho would make sure her sacrifice wasn't for nothing. As they left the city, Jai-Ho looked back. Seoul was burning. Earth was falling. But they were not done fighting. Not yet. 5 years passed. The world was not the same. The Varen ruled above, and humans hid below. Deep under the mountains, in old mine tunnels made wider and deeper, lived 342 humans. They called their home Haven. Jai-Ho was their leader, though he never asked to be. Jai-Ho walked through the main tunnel, nodding to people as he passed. They looked tired but not beaten. They still had hope. He made sure of that. "Commander," said a voice behind him. Jai-Ho turned to see Dae-Sung, his best scout. Dae-Sung was thin and quick, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. "What did you find?" Jai-Ho asked. "Bad news. North Colony went dark 3 days ago. No radio, no signals." Jai-Ho's face hardened. North Colony had 400 people. Varen. Maybe. I need to see for myself. Jai-Ho nodded. "Take a small team. Be careful." Dae-Sung left, and Jai-Ho continued walking until he reached the lab. Inside, his daughter Hae-Yun worked with Dr. Tadwan. At 16, Hae-Yun looked more like her mother every day. Smart like her too. "Dad," she said, looking up from a microscope. "Come see this." Jai-Ho went to her side. On a screen nearby, strange cells moved and changed. "These are human cells," Hae-Yun said, "but watch what happens when we add the compound Mom was working on." The cells began to shift, growing larger, changing shape. "They're not just changing," Tadwan said. "They're waking up. Your wife was brilliant, Jai-Ho. She found something in us, something that was always there, sleeping." Jai-Ho stared at the screen. "What does it mean?" Hae-Yun looked excited. "It means the beasts are real. And they're not alien. They're part of us, or at least, part of some of us." Before Jai-Ho could ask more, his radio crackled. "Commander," came a voice. "Dae-Sung is back. They found something at North Colony. Someone." In the medical room, a young woman lay on a bed. Her clothes were torn and dirty. Her face was bruised, but she was alive. The only survivor from North Colony. "Her name is Eunji," said the doctor. "She hasn't said much, just keeps repeating the same thing." Jai-Ho looked at Dae-Sung, who stood nearby. "What happened there?" "Everyone dead," Dae-Sung said quietly. "Not like normal Varen attacks. These bodies were torn apart, like animals got to them. But there are no wild animals anymore, not since the Varen hunted them down." Jai-Ho turned back to the woman. Her eyes opened, wide and scared. "You're safe now," Jai-Ho said. "Can you tell us what happened?" Eunji grabbed his arm with surprising strength. "The beasts," she whispered. "They came for us. But not for me. Never for me." Jai-Ho and Dae-Sung shared a look. Those words again. The beasts. "What beasts?" Jai-Ho asked. "What did they look like?" But Eunji just closed her eyes and said no more. Outside the medical room, Jai-Ho found Hae-Yun waiting. "Is she okay?" she asked. "She's alive," Jai-Ho said. "But I don't know if she's okay." She talked about beasts. Hae-Yun's eyes widened. "Dad, you need to come back to the lab. Now." In the lab, Taiwan was looking at blood samples. "We tested everyone in Haven," he explained, "looking for the genetic markers your wife found. Most people don't have them. But some do," Hae-Yun added. "About 1 in 20, including you, Dad." Jai-Ho stared at them. "What does that mean?" "It means you carry the beast gene," Taiwan said. "Something ancient. Something the Varen fear." "But there's more," Hae-Yun said. "Mom's notes say the gene needs a trigger to wake up. A strong emotion. She called it the grief key." Jai-Ho thought of Su-Min dying in her lab. Of the burning city. Of 5 years hiding under a mountain while aliens took their world. "Grief," he said softly. "We have plenty of that. A loud alarm cut through the air. Red lights flashed in the tunnel. "Perimeter breach," shouted a voice over the speakers. "All fighters to positions. Varan patrol incoming." Jai-Ho grabbed his gun from its place on the wall. "Keep working," he told He-Yun and Tai-Wan. "Find out how to wake these beasts." As he ran toward the entrance tunnels, Jai-Ho heard Da Sung's voice on the radio. "Commander, there are too many. At least 30 warriors. They found us." After 5 years of hiding, Haven was discovered. The Varan were coming. The battle for Haven lasted 3 hours. 7 humans died. 12 more were hurt. But in the end, the humans won. The Varan patrol was not ready for the traps and the hidden guns in the mountain. Jai-Ho stood at the entrance tunnel, looking at the dead Varan warriors. Even in death, they looked strong. Their bodies were built for war, with thick armor growing from their skin and muscles bigger than any humans. "We got lucky," said Da Sung, standing beside him. "Next time they'll send more." Jai-Ho nodded. "We need to move. This place isn't safe anymore." Back in the main cave, people rushed to pack food and tools. Jai-Ho went to find He-Yun and Dr. Tai-Wan. He found them in the lab, carefully putting machines and samples into boxes. "How soon can you be ready?" Jai-Ho asked. 1 hour, Tai-Wan said. "But Jai-Ho, we made a big discovery before the attack. You need to see this." He-Yun turned on a screen. It showed strange pictures and words. "This is from Mom's hard drive," she said. "We finally broke the password. She left messages for us. For you." Jai-Ho's heart beat faster. Su-Min's words, after all these years. She found out that the beasts aren't just in our genes, He-Yun said. They're a real species, or they were long ago. Tai-Wan pointed to some pictures. They showed tall, strong creatures that looked part human, part animal. "The Varan hunted them to death on their home planet," he said. "That's why they're so strong. They had to be, to kill the beasts. But some beasts escaped. They came to Earth, thousands of years ago. They didn't just come here," He-Yun added. "They became part of us. They mixed their DNA with humans. They're inside some of us, sleeping." Jai-Ho shook his head. It was hard to believe. If that's true, why haven't they woken up before now? He-Yun looked sad. "They need a key, Dad. A trigger. Mom found it just before the invasion." She paused. "It's grief. Deep, painful grief. The kind that breaks you inside." The room was quiet for a long time. "So to fight the Varan," Jai-Ho said slowly, "we need to feel the worst pain a person can feel." Tai-Wan nodded. "That's why the Varan are so scared of the beasts. The Varan were bred for physical strength, but the beasts are born from emotional strength, the strength to face terrible loss and keep going." Jai-Ho thought of Su-Min dying in his arms, of all they had lost, of all the grief he had pushed down inside himself for 5 years, trying to be strong for the others. "Can you make it happen?" he asked. "Can you wake the beast in me?" "It's not that simple," Tai-Wan said. "We can't just inject you with something. Your mind has to truly feel the grief. And there's risk. The change might kill you. Or make you lose control," He-Yun added quietly. At that moment, the medical doctor ran into the lab. "Commander, the girl from North Colony, Yunji. She's awake and talking. She has information about the Varan." Yunji sat up in her bed. Her eyes were clear now, but still afraid. "They kept me in a cage," she said, "for tests. The Varan wanted to know why I was different." "Different how?" Jai-Ho asked. "The beasts don't hurt me," she said. "They can smell something in my blood. The same thing the Varan were looking for." He-Yun stepped forward. "You've seen the beasts. Real ones." Yunji nodded. "Not many. Just a few. They live deep in the old forests where the Varan don't go. They attacked North Colony by mistake. They thought it was a Varan base." "Why would they think that?" Dae-sung asked. Because of me, Yunji said, tears in her eyes. The Varen put something in me, a tracker. That's how they found North Colony. That's how they found you. Alarms started to ring again. A voice shouted over the speakers. Large Varen force spotted. They're coming down the mountain. Jaiho turned to Taiwan. No more time for talk. We need the beast now. Taiwan shook his head. Jaiho, we need more research. We don't know. My daughter, Jaiho said firmly. If the Varen come, they'll kill or take everyone, including Heiyun. I've lost her mother. I will not lose her too. If grief is the key, then I have plenty. Jaiho closed his eyes. He let himself remember everything he had pushed away. Su-min's smile, her voice, the feel of her hand in his, and then her body cold on the lab floor. Something inside him began to burn. The pain started in Jaiho's chest. It felt like fire spreading through his body. He fell to his knees, gasping. Dad. Heiyun ran to him. Stay back, Taiwan warned, pulling her away. We don't know what will happen. Jaiho's skin felt too tight. His bones hurt. In his mind, memories of Su-min played like a movie. Their first meeting. Their wedding day. The day Heiyun was born. And then Su-min dead on the lab floor. The grief was a knife in his heart. But now, that pain was changing into something else. Something powerful. It's working, Taiwan whispered, watching with wide eyes. Jaiho's body began to change. His muscles grew bigger. His skin hardened. His hands turned into claws. A sound came from his throat that was not human. Dad? Heiyun said, her voice shaking. Jaiho looked up. His eyes were different now, yellow with black lines. He tried to speak, but only a growl came out. Then the wall exploded. Varen warriors rushed in, guns firing. People screamed and ran. One Varen saw Jaiho and stopped, surprised. Jaiho felt rage like he had never known. His new body moved faster than his mind could think. He leaped at the Varen, tearing through its armor like it was paper. More Varen came, and Jaiho fought them all. He was stronger than them now. Faster. His claws cut through their tough skin. His new teeth bit through their armor. The Varen began to back away. They were afraid. Jaiho could smell their fear. In a corner of his mind, Jaiho was still himself. He could think, but most of him was now the beast, and the beast was hungry for Varen blood. More humans were dying. Jaiho saw Dae-sung firing his gun until a Varen shot hit him in the leg. He saw doctors trying to move sick people to safety, and then he saw what made his beast heart stop. 3 Varen had Heiyun cornered. She was fighting, using a metal pipe as a weapon, but she was no match for them. As Jaiho watched, one Varen raised its gun. Jaiho roared and ran toward them, but he was too far away. The Varen fired. Heiyun screamed as the shot hit her chest. She fell to the ground, blood spreading across her shirt. No. Jaiho's voice was not human anymore, but the word was clear. He reached the Varen and tore them apart, one after another. Then he knelt beside his daughter. She wasn't moving. Her eyes were closed. Heiyun, he growled, his new voice rough and strange. Something was happening to Heiyun. Her skin was changing color. Her fingers were growing longer, sharper. She was changing too, just like him. Taiwan appeared beside them. The grief trigger, he said. It works both ways. Your grief woke your beast. Her pain is waking hers. Heiyun's eyes opened. They were yellow now, like her father's. The wound on her chest was closing as they watched. She sat up, looking at her changed hands with wonder. Dad, she said. Her voice was different too, deeper and with a soft growl. More explosions shook the cave. The Varen were everywhere now. We need to get everyone out, Jaiho said, finding it easier now to speak with his new mouth. The escape tunnels. Taiwan nodded and ran to help others. Jeho and Hei-yun stood side by side. Father and daughter, both changed into something new. "Are you okay?" Jeho asked. Hei-yun looked at her claws, then at the dead Varen around them. "I'm angry," she said, "and I'm hungry." Jeho nodded. "Then let's hunt." Together, they charged into the battle. The humans who saw them gasped in fear, then cheered when they realized these monsters were fighting for them. The Varen had been bred for strength through many generations, but Jeho and Hei-yun had been forged by grief in a single moment. And their beasts were hungry for revenge. 1 month after the attack on Haven, the survivors found a new home. They'd moved into old mining tunnels deep in the mountains, far from any Varen bases. They called their new home Second Chance. In a large cave, Jeho watched as 5 people tried to change into beast form. They all had the special gene, but changing was hard. Only one man, Q1, managed to partly change his arms into beast form before changing back. "It's not working," Q1 said, breathing hard. "I think about my dead family. I feel sad, but nothing happens." "It's not just sadness," Jeho said. "It's deeper. You have to let yourself really feel the pain you've been hiding." Since the battle at Haven, Jeho had learned to control his beast form. He could change parts of his body or his whole self. He could stay beast for hours now. Hei-yun was even better at it than him. Dr. Tawan stood nearby, taking notes. "Each beast form is different," he explained to the group. "Jeho is like a big cat with armor plates. Hei-yun is faster, more like a hunting bird. Your forms will match who you are inside." The door opened, and Yunji walked in. She looked healthier now. The doctors had taken the Varen tracker out of her body. "How is training going?" she asked. "Slowly," Jeho answered. "How about you? Any more memories coming back?" Yunji had been a prisoner of the Varen for years. They had used her for tests because her blood was special. It called to the beasts, but also seemed to calm them. "I remember more every day," she said. "The Varen have a main base near the old city of Busan. That's where their leaders are." "The primes." Jeho nodded. This was important information. Suddenly, Hei-yun ran into the room. "Dad, come quick. Dae-sung is back from his scout trip. He found something big." In the command room, Dae-sung spread a map on the table. His leg was still healing from the battle, but he could walk now. "Here," he said, pointing to a spot on the map. "The Varen are building something huge, some kind of tower." "How big?" Jeho asked. "Taller than any building I've ever seen, and they're bringing in special machines, working day and night." Hyunjae looked at the map and went pale. "It's a calling tower," she said. "I heard the Varen talk about it when I was their prisoner. They're going to use it to call their main fleet from across space." The room went quiet. Everyone knew what that meant. More Varen ships, maybe thousands more. "How long do we have?" Jeho asked. "The tower looked half done," Dae-sung said. "Maybe 3 months before it's ready." Jeho looked around the room at the faces of his people. They were scared but not giving up. "Then we have 3 months to get ready," he said. "We need more beast fighters, and we need a plan to destroy that tower." Later that night, Jeho sat alone in his small room. He held the picture of Sumin, the one he had carried since the day Seoul fell. "I wish you were here," he whispered to the picture. "You would know what to do." There was a knock on his door. It was Hei-yun. "Can't sleep?" she asked, sitting beside him. "Just thinking," he said. Hei-yun looked at the picture of her mother. "I had a dream about her last night. She was telling me something important, but I couldn't hear her." Jeho put his arm around his daughter. "Your mother believed humans and beasts were meant to work together. That's why the Varen tried to kill all the beasts on their world. They feared what we could become together." "Are you afraid?" Hei-yun asked. "Of what we're becoming?" Jeho thought about it. The beast inside him was powerful and angry. Sometimes it was hard to control, but it was also part of him now. "No," he said finally. "I'm not afraid of the beast. I'm afraid we won't be strong enough to save our world." Hei-yun took her father's hand. Her fingers changed briefly into claws, then back to human. "We will be," she said. "Mom's research saved us. Now it's our turn to save everyone else." Outside their room, more survivors gathered for beast training. The fight for Earth was just beginning. Word spread fast among the hidden human settlements. Stories about people who could turn into beasts. Stories about fighters who could kill Varen warriors with their bare hands. At first, many didn't believe it. But then the attacks started. Small groups of beast humans began hitting Varen bases and patrols. They left no Varen alive. 2 months after finding their new home, Second Chance had more than doubled in size. People came from all over, hoping they might have the beast gene too. Jaiho watched as new arrivals walked into the main cave. Tired people with few things, but their eyes lit up when they saw Hei-yun in half-beast form, helping carry heavy boxes with her strong arms. 20 more today," said Dae-sung, standing beside Jaiho. "That's nearly 100 this week." Jaiho nodded. "How many have the gene?" "About 1 in 20, just like Ta-1 said. We have 23 beast fighters now, counting you and Hei-yun." It wasn't enough, not to fight all the Varen, but it was a start. A man approached them. He was older, with gray hair and a serious face. 2 younger men followed him. "Commander Jaiho," the man asked. "My name is Sumho. I was a military planner before the Varen came. These are my sons." Jaiho shook his hand. "Welcome to Second Chance." "We heard about your fighters," Sumho said. "At first I didn't believe it, but then we saw one of your teams take down a Varen patrol near our settlement." He paused. "My wife was killed in that first week of the invasion. My sons want to be tested for the beast gene." "Everyone gets tested," Jaiho said. "But even if you don't have the gene, we need all kinds of skills here." Sumho nodded. "I understand you're planning something big. Against a Varen tower." Jaiho raised his eyebrows. News really did travel fast. "Come with me," he said. In the command room, a large map showed the area around the Varen tower. Small figures made of clay showed where Varen guards stood. "It's the most guarded place on Earth right now," Jaiho explained to Sumho. "The tower is halfway built. In another month, it will be done." Sumho studied the map carefully. "You can't just attack it head-on. Even with your beast fighters, there are too many Varen." "We know," Jaiho said. "That's why we need someone with your skills." The door opened, and Yunji came in with Dr. Ta-1. They had been working together lately, studying Yunji's blood to understand why the beasts responded to it. "The test shows something interesting," Ta-1 said. "Yunji's blood has a hormone that calms the beast side. It might help new fighters control their forms better." "That's good news," Jaiho said. "Some of our new people are having trouble staying in control when they change." The beast was powerful but wild. The first time someone changed, the animal side could take over. Jaiho had learned to balance his human mind with the beast's instincts, but it wasn't easy. A young woman ran into the room. "Commander, scouts report a large group coming this way." "At least 50 people." Jaiho frowned. "Varen?" "No, humans. They say they're from East Settlement. And sir, they say they have beast fighters too." Outside the mountain entrance, Jaiho waited with Hei-yun and 10 other beast fighters. They were all partly changed, ready to fight if this was a trick. A group appeared from the forest. At the front walked a woman with dark hair and a strong face. Behind her were men and women carrying weapons and bags. Some had the yellow eyes of beast fighters. The woman stopped in front of Jaiho. "My name is Young-mi," she said. "I worked with Su Min before the invasion. We were friends." Jaiho stared at her. "You knew my wife?" Young-mi nodded. She sent her research to several labs before the attack. I've been continuing her work all these years. When I heard about beast fighters near the Old Haven site, I knew her research had worked. We have more than 50 settlements in contact now, Young May continued, all hiding from the Varen, all with people carrying the beast gene. She looked at the mountain behind Jeho. We need to talk. The Varen know about the beasts now. They're scared. And they're planning something terrible. Jeho looked at all the new arrivals. More people meant more fighters. More hope. Welcome to Second Chance, he said. We have a lot of work to do. Night fell over the Varen facility. It was a large building with high walls and many guards. Inside, the Varen did tests on captured humans. Jeho crouched in the shadows near the wall. With him were He-Yun, Da-Sung, and 2 other beast fighters named Min-Su and Juri. They all wore dark clothes and carried small weapons. Remember the plan, Jeho whispered. We go in quietly. Free the prisoners. Get the information. Then leave. No big fights unless we have to. The others nodded. Sung-Ho had made this plan. He said they needed to know more about what the Varen were doing, and they needed more people with the beast gene. Jeho looked at his daughter. Ready? He-Yun smiled, her teeth already a bit sharper as she started to change. Ready. All 5 of them began to change, but not completely. Just enough to be stronger and faster, but still look mostly human in the dark. Their eyes glowed yellow, but they kept their heads down. Da-Sung, who was good at climbing even without changing, went up the wall first. He dropped a rope, and the others climbed up after him. On top of the wall, they saw 2 Varen guards. Jeho and Min-Su moved quickly, grabbing the guards and pulling them down before they could make noise. Inside the facility, they moved from shadow to shadow. The place was big, with many rooms. Some had strange machines, some had cages. There, He-Yun whispered, pointing to a large room with glass walls. Inside were people in beds, with tubes in their arms. Getting into that room was not easy. There were guards and cameras. But Da-Sung had found the control room first, and he turned off the cameras for a few minutes. That was their chance. They moved fast, taking down 2 guards. Jeho used the guard's hand to open the door, pressing it against a scanner. Inside, they began freeing people. Who are you? Asked one woman, as He-Yun helped her up. Friends, He-Yun said. We're here to take you home. There were 15 prisoners in all. Some could barely walk. Jeho and his team helped them move toward the exit Da-Sung had found. But then, one prisoner stopped and pointed to another door. Wait, she said. There's someone else. Down there. Someone important. Jeho looked at the new door. It wasn't in their plan. But he had to make a choice. Da-Sung, get these people out, he said. He-Yun, come with me. The rest of you, stick to the plan. The team split up. Da-Sung led the prisoners toward the exit. Jeho and He-Yun went through the new door. It led to stairs going down. At the bottom was a special room. It had only one person inside, a woman. She was not in a bed like the others. She was in a clear box, like a cage made of thick glass. She was sitting calmly, watching them with wise eyes. You're not Varen, she said when she saw them. We're human, Jeho said. We're here to free the prisoners. The woman nodded. I'm Young May. Jeho and He-Yun looked at each other in surprise. Young May, the scientist from East Settlement. But you're already at Second Chance. The woman's eyes narrowed. No, I've been here for months. The Varen caught me when they found our lab. Jeho felt cold inside. If this was the real Young May, then who was at their base? We need to get you out, He-Yun said, looking for a way to open the glass cage. Young May pointed to a panel on the wall. That controls this cell. But listen first. There's something you need to know. The Varen are afraid of the beasts, but not just because you can fight them. They're afraid because of what's in your blood. Jeho found the panel and pressed buttons until the glass door opened. "What do you mean?" Young Miss stepped out. The Varen were made, not born. Created by another race long ago. They have a weakness built into them. A genetic kill switch. The beasts can trigger it. A kill switch? Hei-Yun asked. "You mean we can shut them down?" "Yes," Young Mai said. "But only the primes know how it works. The Varen leaders. They keep the secret in their main base." An alarm started to sound. Lights flashed red. "They know we're here," Jaiho said. "We need to move now." As they ran for the exit, Young Mai told them more. "The woman who looks like me is a Varen spy. They can change how they look. She's there to find out about your plans." Jaiho's mind raced. All this time, they had a spy in their home, telling all their secrets, learning all their plans. They reached the outside wall where Dae-sung waited with the other prisoners. "Did everyone get out?" Jaiho asked. "Yes," Dae-sung said, "but we need to hurry. More Varen are coming." As they ran into the night, Jaiho knew they had saved many lives today, but they had also learned something that changed everything. The Varen had a weakness, and there was a spy in their home. They had to get back to Second Chance. Jaiho's team returned to Second Chance just before dawn. They moved quickly through the tunnels, looking for the fake Young Mei. But she was gone. Someone had warned her. She took 6 guards with her, Sung-ho reported. They left 3 hours ago, said they were going to check the outer defenses. Jaiho hit the wall with his fist. She knows everything. All our plans. All our hiding places. The real Young Mai, still weak from her time in the Varen prison, sat at the meeting table. "We have to move fast," she said. "The spy will tell the Varen everything." "It's too late to change our attack plans," Hei-Yun said. "The tower will be ready in 1 week. We need to destroy it now, before their main fleet arrives." Jaiho looked at the people around the table. Dae-sung, Taiwan, Yunji, Sung-ho, and the real Young Mei. These were his most trusted friends. They had only one chance to save Earth. "Then we used their spy against them," Jaiho said. "We changed the plan, but we don't tell anyone except the people in this room." Sung-ho nodded slowly. A trap within a trap. For the next 3 days, they worked on 2 plans. The first plan, the one everyone knew about, was to attack the tower with all their beast fighters at once. The second plan, the secret one, was very different. On the 4th day, Jaiho called all the beast fighters together. There were 37 now, from all the settlements. "Tomorrow we attack the tower," he told them. "This will be the biggest fight of our lives. Some of us won't come back. But if we don't stop that tower from calling the Varen fleet, there will be no hope for Earth." The beast fighters roared their agreement. They were ready to fight. That night, Jaiho found Hei-Yun sitting alone, looking at an old picture of her mother. "Are you scared?" he asked, sitting beside her. "Yes," she said, "but not of dying. I'm scared of failing, of letting Mom down." Jaiho put his arm around her. "Your mother would be so proud of you, of what you've become." Hei-Yun leaned against her father. "Do you think our plan will work?" "It has to," Jaiho said. "Now get some rest. Tomorrow will be a long day." The sun rose over the Varen Tower. It was huge, reaching high into the sky. Around it were hundreds of Varen warriors, all ready for battle. The fake Young Mai had indeed warned them. From the edge of the forest came the beast fighters. Hei-Yun led them, fully changed into her beast form. She looked like a bird of prey but stood on 2 legs, with sharp claws and feathers that shined like metal. Behind her were 36 other beasts, all different shapes and sizes. Inside the Varen base, alarms sounded. Warriors ran to their positions. Guns pointed at the approaching beasts. "Hold," shouted Hei-Yun to her fighters. "Remember the plan. We need to draw them away from the tower. Make them chase us." The Varen fired first. Energy beams shot through the air. The beasts dodged and began to attack. They did not charge straight at the tower. Instead, they hit the sides of the Varen force, then pulled back into the trees. The Varen followed, just as planned. He-Yun fought bravely, taking down 3 Varen warriors at once. But there were so many enemies. All around her, beast fighters were falling. "Keep moving," she shouted. "We need to hold them here as long as we can." A huge Varen, bigger than the others, came straight for He-Yun. It had to be a commander. It fired a special gun that shot nets made of energy. One hit He-Yun, and she fell to the ground, trapped. The big Varen stood over her. "The daughter of Jaiho," it said in a rough voice. "Where is your father? Not brave enough to fight?" He-Yun smiled, showing her sharp teeth. "My father is exactly where he needs to be." Miles away, in the Varen's central command base, Jaiho, Daesung, Yunji, and Dr. Tadwan moved silently through dark tunnels. While He-Yun led the main attack as a diversion, they were going after the real target, the Varen primes and their genetic kill switch. The morning light crept across the burned landscape, painting the world in shades of gray and hope. Kim Jae-hwa stood at the edge of what was once a massive Vortex command center, now nothing more than a twisted heap of metal and organic matter. She looked down at her hands. They were not the same hands that had first seen the Vortex invade. These hands were harder, marked with scars that told stories of survival. Around her, the surviving humans moved with a purpose that was both familiar and completely new. Lee Sung-min approached, his body a map of battle wounds. "We did it," he said simply. The word hung in the air, light but heavy with meaning. The final battle had been nothing like anyone expected. The Vortex, with all their genetic perfection, had never understood the core of human survival. They saw strength as something that could be measured, counted, and engineered. Humans knew better. Strength, they had learned, was not about perfect muscles or flawless genetics. It was about breaking and coming back together. It was about hope that didn't make sense. It was about loving something so much that you would fight impossible battles. Park Yunji walked up with a datapad, her fingers moving quickly. "The last Vortex ships are gone," she reported. "We're tracking the final remnants of their communication network. It's falling apart." Kang Hai-jin stood nearby, watching the horizon. Her eyes, once filled with fear, now held a steely determination. "They never understood us," she said. "They thought we were weak because we felt things, because we could be hurt. They were wrong." The Vortex had been perfect soldiers, bred in labs, grown with specific purposes. Their entire existence was about fighting. Humans were different. Humans could love, could hurt, could break and heal, could remember and forgive. During the war, they had discovered something powerful. Grief was not a weakness. Pain was not something to be avoided. These were the things that made humans strong. Each loss had made them more determined. Each broken city had made them more creative. Each dead friend had made them more angry, more focused. Jaguar remembered the moment they had found the Vorex's weakness. It wasn't a weapon. It wasn't a technology. It was understanding. The Vorex could predict patterns. They could calculate risks, but they could not understand why humans would fight when all hope seemed lost. Humans fought because of love, because of memories, because of dreams. "We're going to rebuild," Sung-min said, looking at the team, but not like before. They would rebuild differently. They had learned too much to go back to old ways. The cities would be different. The governments would be different. Humans had seen what they could do when they truly worked together. Jae-hwa smiled. A small smile. A tired smile. But a real smile. The first human colonies were already being planned. Not just on Earth, but on other planets. They had learned how to survive, how to adapt, how to turn pain into strength. The Vorex had been bred for conquest. Humans had been forged by something more powerful. Hope, grief, love, survival. And their beasts were still hungry.